everybody wants to know about your experience at Shark Tank. The entire country is talking about Shark Tank and how it impacted your business.
The idea is about, finding the closest washroom can change her life forever. And I think that is the mission. Hygiene dignity is extremely important.
Hi, everyone. We have a very interesting guest today with us. We have Manish Kelshikar, an accomplished entrepreneur. He's the founder and CEO of Woloo. This is a Shark Tank featured startup. It is revolutionizing the way women find and manage washrooms across India. So, with the background of Manish's in design and retail management and a degree, from the prestigious NIFT and FIT New York, he has a wealth of knowledge and experience in design innovation, marketing, and brand communication strategy. Wow, that's so many things put all together. He has worked with major companies such as Walmart, Shoppers Stop, and even founded DSGN Inc., the only design BPO in India catering to international fashion brands. He has also been recognized for his work, receiving prestigious awards such as the World Trade Center Award for Bag Forever, the NASSCOM ReTechCon Award for Innovation for his venture Uniform Republic, and the Walt Disney Design Excellence Award. So let's not keep anybody waiting too much. Let's welcome Manish. Hi, Manish. So tell us a little about your journey and the innovative work that you are doing. And of course, everybody wants to know about your experience at Shark Tank. The entire country is talking about Shark Tank and how it impacted your business.
Well, thanks a lot for having me here, Mohua. It's been a pleasure, and thanks for a very generous introduction. I guess I think it's a little embarrassing, by the way. But yeah, it's been a fantastic journey for me. Sometimes with the most confused academic, okay, I think that is where I'm a military engineer, design graduate, and a retail MBA. With started my life as a design professional, but then I realized I think design thinking in entrepreneurship probably makes us more unique and more the ability to question the existence of conventional and then challenging it and innovating and solving problem through innovation. I call it as a disturb by design. If that's the mantra, and I think disruption is a positive change. Basically, that's our motto, right? So yeah, it's been a fun journey from design to retail to social entrepreneurship. This is my second social entrepreneurship. My first venture is Back Forever, which we won. We created a global brand out of Thailand, and thanks for having me here. I think it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. So, you know what? Whoever is going to watch us, I'm sure they all want to go into Shark Tank. So, what is it that you're going to advise for the entrepreneurs who are trying to pitch their business with Shark Tank? So, we need to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Shark Tank. I've been a Shark Tank follower, fan for since season one, since I was in the US and came back in India and kept following it up. I think the entire model of entrepreneurship, putting onto a reality show is a phenomenal model of or a format of a show. But in the epicenter of the whole idea is about the kind of confidence it generates, among the viewers and every aspiring startup founder, or maybe most of us actually who work in corporate have always a wish list that, oh, I wish I want to be an entrepreneur. Okay? I want to do something what I'm thinking, right, and innovate something. I think Shark Tank has given that, I would say, even you can be an entrepreneur kind of confidence. And I think this is a great learning. It's a live, peaceful learning, and through the learning through experience. I would call Shark Tank as an experience, and in both ways. How a founder should innovate, and how a founder should look at from the mentoring point of view, investment point of view, how important the other aspect of the managerial or aspect of business, and something which otherwise nobody will tell you. The entrepreneur is always alone. Okay,
Totally alone.
yeah. So I think this is a brilliant way. I think one of the most, whether you get deal, you don't get deal, whether you get trolled or whether you get really roasted by sharks, or you get appreciated by sharks. I think in a nutshell, no matter what, any publicity is a good publicity. So first and most important thing, you become national within the whole within those 9 minutes in the tank, which gets aired. So I guess it's a process of validation also. I mean, from thousands and now it's into lakhs of application, and then you get selected into the tank, and then you are aired on a national television. I think that's a sense of pride and a brilliant validation. So no comparison for any other startup event than Shark Tank really sits on the top.
So, can you discuss a little bit about the relationships that you've established, with the Shark Tanks, if any, and how has it helped your business?
I would narrate the entire experience to be extremely amazing, professional, and so warming. Actually, what it looks like from the front, that you enter into a tank and you are ready to. They are dolphins. They are not sharks. Actually, to be honest, actually, the whole tank is such a lovely ecosystem. I mean, the moment you're applying, and then the moment the team backend team starts calling you, and it's going back to B school, honestly. It's going back to basics. You're taken care so beautifully. You're constantly, advised, mentored, guided, and one of the most important thing is that the entire team which works around you wants you to get the deal. So, the amount of piece of advice, as if somebody is going on a war, okay, and it is such a lovely feeling that, oh, don't do this, don't do that, do not deny, and be sure that you get. It's kind of a fantastic experience, which I still relish. It's been more than a year. I went to tank, okay, and as I told you, see, in retail every Monday is a Shark Tank, but I think going on to a real Shark Tank was normally, it was amazing.
So, we need to know, of course, the inspiration and the motivation behind developing, the Woloo app. How did it really? How did you come on to this entire idea?
As I, what I mean, majority of time, women's sanitation needs is never a man's, or top of the mind of a man. I mean, not being sexist, I'm not being again pro women, but generally, men are. I mean, because typically, we being a retail analyst, actually, we always use this tool that the occasion and a location of a product. Okay, so for a man, the occasion is to be location can be anywhere. Okay? For a woman, actually, the occasions are many. I mean, changing pad, changing that,
Absolutely.
feeding a baby, and then water malfunction, and then many more. I mean, emotional burst is also an occasion for a woman to find the washroom or to find a 3 by 3 space. Location, none. Okay, and I think that is why we shouldn't be blaming anybody. But I think being a retail professional, even I went through all these things. 65% women working professionals around me. It used to be always kind of a little discomfort and inconvenience for during work pace. Okay, so that women team members used to have issues and all. But I always use this line, and which is a game changing for me also. That the agony of a woman is understood by a man only when he becomes a father of a woman, actually, and that's exactly what we had. Our daughter, who actually, she taught me actually. I mean, she her needs, as she grew, her puberty needs and everything all together, and then I realized the importance of a washroom for a woman, how important it is. And as kids who are very really nowadays very focused and clear, and she also wanting to go out of the country and say, one fine day she just say, I mean, me as a father wanting to stop her back again, and then she said, hey, listen, I can't even get a basic washroom here, okay? And that really changed her entire thinking. Somehow, somewhere, the seed of Woloo, it began from there. And then, yeah, we started 3.5 years ago looking at a solution that a woman should actually. And then I realized, yeah, it is a huge problem. It is not just a problem of an individual woman, but it's a national issue. Okay, it impacts the entire health, entire education and career of a woman, and no, and cumulatively, it is impacting the economy of the entire country. Okay, only 24% working women population. Can this? I mean, is this 3 by 3 space called toilet is impacting so much? I think something was to be done. Woloo is actually came out of this entire thought process.
But it seems like a mammoth task, to process, the entire process of gathering and verifying the information, of the washrooms that feature on the app. I mean, I'm sure so many of our listeners right now would be dying to know, how did you put this entire mammoth thing all together?
I always, I would always, and I'll be very candid and not being very intellectually, in terms of. See, I think one of the biggest thing in a startup and a journey, which my experience is, if you feel that you want to solve a problem, okay, you just start walking towards it. Actually, just I mean, there is a method I always use it. I would like to share it in the. It's called identify, clarify, simplify, and amplify. Okay, there are four steps. Okay, identify a problem. Okay, clarify if the problem is actually a problem. Okay. Then identify a solution. Clarify if the solution is really the closest one what you could feel, and then simplify it and amplify it. That's the way we use a technique. And yeah, so we first I did is actually visited 300-400 washrooms. Okay, and which are publicly available. And then the data which started coming in was shocking actually. I mean, out of 300 washrooms, okay, probably only a percent or not even a percent was usable for human beings, honestly, on a global yardstick, or rather on a healthy being healthy. And then we realized 20% of them were only 20% were offering women's sanitation, okay, which was also another shocker. And then it went on and on. And then the way my biggest biggest learning, or rather the shocking thing which came it out, that you won't believe that 98% women, they don't use washroom when they are out of the home. I
Yes,
spoke to many women who would give
absolutely.
a lady cop. I have a habit of giving away a small water bottle to lady cops wherever I'm driving. Okay, it's always in my car. And you won't believe, they refuse to take the water bottle. It's a sealed mineral water bottle. And then one day I stopped and asked, Didi, what happened? I mean, I always call them like that. And she said, no, washroom नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो हम लोग पानी नहीं पी सकते. And then that is just shocker, and actually there were tears in their eyes, and and then I also researched, in terms of 67% women, they don't drink water. Okay? I mean, they stopped. The data was completely shocking, and then it started revealing much more further. And I thought this was something which is important for us to be solved. So the second thing is, when we talk about sanitation, toilets, and all these things, okay, there is a fashion of talk, whether as if the problem is only in slums and villages, women in slums and women in villages. I mean, I feel that's kind of a fashion. Okay, I think with all of us, every woman, every individual from 6 to 60, and all levels of, whether I would call it as a, all kinds of women. Okay, they always face this. So I thought, something somehow somewhere, and this is how we started. But so second thing I found out about the problem is, actually we are very good at building toilets, but we are extremely poor at maintaining and managing toilets. So
Absolutely.
second thing is the infrastructure, the kind of infrastructure currently we have versus the kind of infrastructure we would need. Probably it will take me another 20 100 years, I mean 20 30 years to build that kind of infrastructure. So then probably Eureka moment was while I was reading few of the case studies. I came across Airbnb case studies that is called shared economy model of business. Okay? And there are successful shared economy business models, which Airbnb has pioneered it, and then Ola, Oyo, and multiple other ways. I thought, why can't we create something like an Airbnb of toilets? And that was a Eureka moment. And then it went on to creating the world's first hygiene certification program called Woloo Assurance of Hygiene, because we went to restaurants and then segregated them and told them that, okay, we can drive customers inside to your facility. And wow, I mean, we started humble in Mumbai before Shark Tank. Today we are in 400 cities with 25,000 washrooms. And
Oh my God, that is a phenomenal number. And I can't even imagine, how does Wulu maintain the hygiene of these, the hygiene check of the washrooms, because that's something I'm sure a lot of us would have a huge concern about, because it isn't easy.
I'll tell you something very interesting. Hygiene is actually it's a habit. Hygiene is a practice. Hygiene is awareness, and then hygiene is a technology. Honestly, after over and above. Okay. One of the most important thing is hygiene awareness. Okay. Many 70% of these commercial places, which restaurants are basically are important. Restaurants, cafes, horeca actually category. Um, they did not even realize that 70% of the bad, consumer feedbacks were not for their core service, which is food and ambience. Okay, but they got bad review for toilet, which is not their core business. And then we realized that, what if we create awareness and then we can go and tell them, because this was a non-trading space, okay? They did not realize that because of non-trading space offered free of cost, okay, they thought it's a cost center. But the moment when we went them and told them that just imagine your toilet fetches you more customers, just imagine your toilet starts making its own money, okay, reduces cost of maintenance. Just imagine it starts improving consumer experience, okay, which you're spending a lot of money. And you won't believe, okay, that was the turning moment. Okay, I mean, people are now aware that how much important. Obviously, technology played a major role. So, using IoT devices, which actually alerts on a stink detection and everything, and then AI technology and backend software. Okay, all these are important aspects. But I will still give a credit to all the hosts who actually received the idea, and I'm so proud of it that 25,000 Woloo hosts are actually the core part of the ecosystem. I'll give you one more very important example that we did a recent survey. I just thought that probably the cost of maintenance is and the kind of rewards we're offering to them may not be sufficient. So let them charge for pay per use. So before charging it, actually before starting that charging, we said let's go to ask them. Let's go and ask them. To my surprise, 98% of the restaurants told us that no, we don't want to charge. Because the lady who's walking in, either my existing customer or my potential customer, but more than that, she's a woman citizen of India. Okay, and I think it is such a humbling thing that humanity is still intact, and I think I'm taking that as a tool. And there is a unique initiative we are launching through Woloo. It's called Doorway to Dignity. Like Woloo's host partner, who are actually offering their services by law, they are supposed to offer washroom free to women and kids. But I'm appealing to the entire gamut of commercial establishments, whether you are a restaurant, cafe, whether you are any bank or any commercial establishment. Just let's open the door. Doorway to dignity is our way of adding to society that any lady who's in trouble can actually be offered a washroom unconditionally. That is what it is. So yeah, this is a phenomenal ecosystem we are trying to build this up, and we're trying to add a lot of value from our side, offering them multiple benefits, including insurances to their own janitors and everything, and multiple other benefits.
So does Hulu also plan to, there is to address the lack of accessible washroom for people with disabilities, because that's also a huge concern in India. Many places do not even have a basic ramp, for people to walk, to be wheeled in and wheeled out. So do you have plans to address this?
Oh, this is a very, very important question, actually, and not to forget this. Unfortunately, and I'm somehow, we are somehow missing out the inclusion of a specially able individuals in our ecosystem. We also realize this through personal experiences that okay, I think it's very important to take care of that. Woloo Assurance of Hygiene certification. I would like to show probably this is how it looks like. It's a seal which is on the door. I call it as a Michelin star of toilets, actually. So it's a pride for any restaurant to achieve this. And there are 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. One of the biggest criteria is about safety, hygiene, accessibility, and processes followed. Then hospitality also. We are also segregating washrooms which are specially able compliant. Okay, and I'm out of 24,000. Okay, currently we are saying that 9% of them are with complied with specially able. My target that why can't we at least go 30%? So another year, and Woloo will have 100,000 washrooms onboarded. And I would say that can I create a special map for specially able friends and users of Woloo who can have their own map, who can have their own uh, complied facility, hygiene facility for them. It's not just a dream. Okay, this is our mission, and I'm sure we would like to contribute, and I would take this platform as a as a medium to appeal people to come forward. We would also like to take the help of different you know the ecosystem in toilet. Okay, like the manufacturers and multiple other people to could join and upgrade this toilet to be compliant for specially able people. I think it's an important and emotional point to take.
Definitely very, very emotional, Manish. I can just completely read through the lines and I can see that so much of your heart is into Ulu. Now, you know what? I'm sure a lot of our, guys who want to go ahead and become entrepreneurs, they would love to hear from you the challenges that you faced, in developing and launching the Bulu app. And what are the things that you did to overcome it? Because as an entrepreneur, one is really a lonesome journey, and one has to really believe from the deepest part of their heart when they are launching something and you don't know whether it's going to work. So would you like to share some of the
Yeah,
things that you did?
see challenges. To be very honest, actually, you know, diving into entrepreneurship is actually you should be ready for challenges. That's the only thing what you do. You're like it's a job of a firefighter, honestly. But I think that if you don't call them challenge and if you call them that, it's like a puzzle. Okay, you're constantly solving one puzzle from another. Challenges is kind of and it bogs down people, but it's a solving puzzle from one level to another level to another level. I think I look at it from gamification point of view. I think that's the way life is also all about. I mean, stepping out of the home and going to one point A to point B is still a challenge. So I thought our Voodoo, I don't consider all of them a challenge, but yes, I mean, right from designing the entire business model, making first of all, actually making. I faced a unique problem because I belong to a global fashion industry, and my peers started saying that, oh, I mean, from attending all fashion weeks, worldwide, and suddenly you are now sniffing toilets. Is why? I mean, why you have to do this? From there to, but I'm really glad my co-founder and my life partner, Rupali, who's with me in this journey, in thick and thin, she is the COO, and more importantly, my moral, support in this whole thing. I guess that was something which was the biggest thing, and I'm still really. That is where we keep, that is something my strength. As far as challenge is concerned, yeah, I mean, I would say getting restaurants on board initially was a small challenge, which actually we overcome very easily. But I want to share with you a very serious and important challenge, which is that, you know, from generations to generations, okay? Now, I was thinking that, okay, there is a problem that there is no washroom available for women, okay? But I realized that the challenge is women have actually deleted the entire event of going to washroom when they step out of the home because there is so much of trust deficit. Now that this, building this trust is a big challenge, or rather breaking that distrust, okay, is going to be a challenge. They don't realize that, by doing a very unique techniques of not going to washroom. Okay, there are amazingly unique techniques. Okay, they're not realizing that that is not only affecting their health or their life, okay, their education or their careers. I think this is something which I want to take up again this forum that वॉशरूम जाना जरूरी है. I think that is the most important thing. Okay, I will narrate a small story my wife has written about that. I mean, her parents celebrated birth of my her birth and say it's a girl. Okay, I mean, and her childhood was so comfortable. Okay, but at the same time she started realizing that parents started implanting a small fear in a child's mind, a girl child's mind, that don't go here, don't go there, washroom jana nahi, pani nahi pina, travel karte waqt. I think that fear starts growing and it gets magnified as the child grows. The fear grows bigger, and to a level that it starts affecting education, start affecting careers. Till the time my wife narrates that, okay, I mean, many job opportunities, many travel because the job required excessive travels. Okay, women leave those opportunities because during pregnancy they give up job, and so the same thing we celebrated birth of our daughter, and I think that was the day my wife said no more now. Okay, the this fear will never continue. Okay, the freedom from fear. Okay, is the campaign now we are running, and we are appealing women that toilet jana zaruri hai, download Woloo app. That's our campaign line now. So I think this is the challenge I would like to really put it on front, and I want to appeal all women that go bindas Woloo hai na, toilet jana zaruri hai.
टॉयलेट जाना तो बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है मनीष एज अ वुमन we've taken so many we've decided to not take up things which required me especially to travel long distance, and I wasn't sure if I would get a toilet on the way. And so you're so right when you say that we give up on so many opportunities. But Manish, एक जो सवाल है मेरे ख्याल से lots of people would want to know, what is the advice that you'd like to give to your younger self? What are the things that you would have done different? And this is the last question, and we're dying to know, what would Manish tell himself if he was many years younger?
See, I am fortunate, lucky enough that my parents they were never, in terms of academically, I was decent. Okay, I used to score good marks and everything. Yeah, of course, there was a typically Maharashtrian education, was very important in a Maharashtrian typical family, and but they were not conservative. Obviously, they wanted me to follow my heart, and that's why I had a very confused academics. Everything I wanted to do, I wanted to, right from being a fighter pilot to every single thing. We have a good mix of creative plus academic model. So I was an active politician also during my college days and everything. I think that develops a personality. So following hard is something which I always been doing it, and I always tell youngsters that too much of following brain becomes a very mechanical or robotic life. Okay? I think end of the day, no matter how much brain does analysis, okay, heart does decision making. Okay, and this is something I always, you need to follow your heart, okay, because that is where the decision making happens. And once you follow your heart, back it by brain that yes, that was a correct decision, not to change that decision. Okay? I think this is something I mean, till date, I do that. I mean, there is a line called "Socha to ho gaya." Okay, that is the way we do it. Agar if plan B is to make a plan A work, is the only plan B in our organization, in my own life also. So I guess that's the way it works. Sometimes it doesn't work, but yeah, I mean, either you win or you learn. Okay, there is no defeat.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Manish, for this conversation. I'm sure so many of our listeners will really benefit from hearing all the tips that you shared, because, like we spoke right at the start, that entrepreneurship can be a very lonesome journey. And if you think from the heart, I think most of our work doesn't feel too much of work because you are doing it completely from a huge level of passion. And wishing Woloo all the best. I'm sure it's absolutely already revolutionizing. It is revolutionizing. Sorry, got caught with that word. Creating such a revolution for women, in accessing toilets. And I'm sure this is just going to make life better, because more and more women are taking up jobs, and more and more women are going to become working women as the days go ahead. And thank you once again, and wishing you guys all the best.
I'll just take a minute that, yeah, I mean, the idea is about, I mean, Hulu is not just a startup or a venture. It's actually a mission to provide hygiene dignity to women of India and the women of the world. Okay, so wherever this woman goes, I think a simple thing I want to do is actually finding the closest washroom can change her life forever. And I think that is the mission. Hygiene dignity is extremely important. Okay, and I think that is something which Woloo is actually out there. And yeah, the journey continues. It's a long way. It's a mountain to climb, and I would thank you for having me here and spread the word. Actually, that's the only way we would like to be, creating the ecosystem.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.